Unlovable by Cynthia St. Aubin, part of the Disordered series coming out on the 21st. You can get all of these stories at once, guys. Aren't you excited? I'm excited. Pre-order now, all of you. If each of you does it, we can get her on the bestseller list. Ready? Okay. Stefano the Fathead's rubbery lips pooched out from an equally puffy chin. His small, piggy eyes looked like they were being swallowed by a face the color and texture of rising bread dough. This man had a remarkably fat head. Additional facts surfaced slowly. Leather straps bound my wrists and ankles to a chair. A wad of fabric stuffed in my mouth leached the moisture from my tongue and left a metallic tang in my throat. I had been kidnapped. Again. Liam, where are you? I squinted against the light radiating from the floor-to-ceiling windows behind Stefano the Fathead's fat desk. A stretch of the strip was visible beyond his enormous melon. We hadn't gone far past the Black Rock. Had Crixus realized I was gone? Was he looking for me? I think our guest is coming around. The fathead's voice sounded as thick as the sludge scraped up from the gutters of Vegas every morning. A shadow moved in my periphery, and I recognized the oily gunman as he pulled the gag from my mouth and dropped it in my lap. I peeled my parched tongue from my teeth and tried to speak, but couldn't manage more than a broken whisper. Get her some water, the fathead said to Oily. I followed Oily with my eyes as far as I could, taking in the expensive wood furniture, plush carpets, marble statues, and paintings. Enough paintings to populate an entire wing of the Louvre. Whatever the fathead did, he did it well. Cool glass pressed against my lips, and I took greedy gulps of this cold, sweet water. Thank you, I said, trying my voice. Stefano nodded, sending a ripple through his chins. You're welcome. He looked over at Oily. You can leave us now, Bruno. Bruno acknowledged the command with a tilt of his head and disappeared behind me. I have to say, Miss Schmidt, it's a pleasure to meet you in person, finally. Stefano's eyes rolled down my face and body and took their time climbing back up. I can see now why Luigi didn't want to bring you in. The name failed to register until I replayed it several times. Luigi. Liam had introduced himself as Luigi at first. Had he adopted the name to fit in with the likes of Stefano and Bruno? Of course, he and I will have to chat about disobeying orders. An ugly smile folded back the fathead's thick lips, revealing teeth too small for the rest of his face. He wasn't disobeying orders, I said without thinking. He was bringing me here when we were carjacked. Letting some punk get the jump on him makes it worse, not better. It means that, in addition to being a lousy hitman, he's a dumbass to boot. That's not true, I insisted. He's actually quite intelligent, though he makes a point of playing it down so as not to compromise the image of brutality he's contrived. And regarding his professional capacities, I can assure you, his tactics are extremely effective. I was intimidated on a number of occasions. He's quite good at what he does. Is he now? A crooked smile puckered one of the fathead's meaty cheeks. Quite. I pushed away memories, not wanting Stefano to see me blush. Gold rings winked from short, stubby fingers as Stefano folded his hands on top of his expansive desk. Your recommendation is touching, but his job was to bring you here, and he didn't. I searched his fleshy face for an indicator of weakness, but found no softness in his iron jowls. But he brought me most of the way here, and if it wasn't for the carjacker, he would have delivered me personally. Deep grooves appeared in Stefano's forehead as his bushy brows migrated toward one another. In all my year of business, I've never once heard of a delivery defending the deliverer. Don't you want to beg me to let you go? Or at least kill you quickly? My stomach threatened to add acid to the sour fear already seizing my throat. Of course not, I said. I can appreciate what it takes to run a business. Well, let's be honest, an empire as large as yours. I completely understand your reasons for bringing me here. The folds in his forehead deepened into caverns. You do? Don't be modest, Stefano. What you do requires an intricate understanding of innumerable details, the ability to make spontaneous decisions, a masterful comprehension of human nature, a physician's sensitivity to the limits of human anatomy. You're not just the owner of a casino. You're not just a mob puppet master. You're a visionary. You're a prophet. You're an artist, I said, loading the last word with as much awe as it could hold. Shallow breasts inflated the cavernous barrel chest beneath the jacket of the fathead's black suit. He rose from his desk chair as if tugged by a string from the heavens. His small black loafers made no sound as they sank into the carpet, each step drawing him closer to me. Would he hit me? Or worse, kiss me? I summoned the strength to look up at him as he towered over me like hydrocephalic colossus. Then all at once he collapsed onto his knees and began to sob, his head as heavy as a prize-winning pumpkin in my lap. I wanted to be an artist, he wailed into my skirt, but my old man said art was for pussies. And one night he found me under the covers with a flashlight and some paintbrushes. Go ahead, Stefano, I urged. Cry it out. His whole body jiggled with the gale of tears that had overtaken him. I could feel the vibrations through the stomach molding around my knees like a sack of pudding. He said there was no room in the world for an ugly kid with a fat head. I made comforting noises in lieu of patting him on the back, my wrist still being strapped to the chair. After a few gasping breaths, he continued. Dad said I'd only make it in the family business, so he left me the casino when he knocked off, and I've been running it ever since. A warm pool of tears began to soak through to my skin. I resisted the urge to squirm. Don't you see, Stefano? You didn't compromise your dreams of being an artist. You brought all that talent with you, and you've used it to turn what your father had into something greater, something bigger, something... I paused for dramatic effect. Beautiful. The new round of sobs this comment elicited shook the chair and me with it. Your dad came from a different time, Stefano, I continued. He did what he could with the knowledge and experience available to him. He didn't know how to love. Muffled shouts in the hallway had Stefano surging to his feet faster than I would have thought possible for a man of his size. By the time the door burst open, Stefano had his gun out and pointed toward the noise. Another muzzle came within kissing distance, and Stefano backed away. Liam! I shouted, seeing the hand gripping the gun. My joy was short-lived when the rest of his body followed the gun into the room. His shirt and slacks were torn, the exposed skin scored by road rash. His face was bruised, his lower lip swollen and crusted with blood where it had been split. What about me? Crixus asked, pushing in behind Liam. You gonna shout my name too? Look, shithead, Liam said to Crixus without moving his eyes or gun from Stefano. You helped me get in here, but I could shoot you and him in less time than it takes you to adjust your dick, which would work out fine for me, because I'm leaving this room with one woman. Everyone else is optional. Seeing the expression on Crixus's face, I remember where I'd first seen his name. Roman history. Could he be the same gladiator I had read about so long ago? Shoot me and you'll watch as I carry her away while you writhe in agony and pray you'll bleed out before the shock wears off, and you understand how it feels to have every bone in your body crushed into gravel. It was then I noticed that Crixus and Liam were precisely the same height. That is to say, about 6 foot I can rest my cheek on your pectoral. I gave them each 2 notches in the Made Me Come column on the secret notepad on my head, a relatively new addition in my ledger. Who's this character? Stefano asked, jerking a couple of chins towards Crixus. Someone who knows you got the wrong lady strapped to your chair, Crixus answered. He's right, Liam added, looking like the words pained him. She's not the Matilda Schmidt who ran up that debt. Stefano looked from Liam to Crixus and back again. You think I don't know that? Now it was my turn to be amazed. You do? Stefano smiled at me over his shoulder and lowered his gun. Liam did the same. One look at you and even I knew there was no way you gave a knob job to double amputee Louis. Relief washed over me in warm rolling waves, even as I contemplated the icky implications of what he had said. I swear to God, Liam, the fathead continued, unbuckling my straps. If you wasn't my sister's husband's brother's cousin's nephew, I'd have put you through a grinder and sold you to it by the pound, dragging the sweet girl all the way for no reason. Sorry, Stefano, Liam said, looking suitably chastened. I'll find the Matilda Schmidt that owes you money. I swear it. Forget about it, said Stefano, with a wave of his fleshy hand. This lady has redeemed anyone lucky enough to share her name. I captured that same hand with mine and brought it to my lips, kissing his dimpled knuckle. Stefano, I said, I think it's time you got a new name. Oh, yeah? His heavy features looked lighter already. Yeah, from now on, it's Stefano il Piccolo Artista. The little artist, Stefano said, a grin smeared across his cheeks. You got that, Liam? Yes, Stefano, Liam agreed. I'll make sure the boys know. Good. Stefano wiped his face and smoothed his coat. Bruno! I think he might be a little impaired, Liam said. And make yourself useful and tell the chef I want something different for breakfast. Something steamed. Liam's stricken expression rivaled the moment he discovered Cupid smoking his dead grandfather's cigar in the bed in our motel room. Sure thing, Stefano. Stefano turned his attention to Crixus. What about you? You looking for work? You got talent making threats. Crixus gave Stefano a dazzling smile. I have a decent gig, but believe me, you'll be the first man I'll call if that changes. Well, can one of you boys get this little lady home? Stefano asked. Liam and Crixus nearly tumbled over each other in their eagerness to volunteer. I rose from my chair and held up a hand. As much as I appreciate the offer, I think I'd prefer to get myself home. I'll just catch a cab to the airport. But you don't have any money, Liam protested. I smiled at him and reached into my shirt, pulling a stack of cards from my bra. I fanned them out for all to see. Driver's license, debit cards, and credit cards. What's that one? Stefano asked, pointing to the paper card on the end. Business card, I said, handing it over to him with a covert wink. Never know when I'll meet a potential client. Liam's face held a mix of confusion and wonder. How did you get those? Swiped my wallet from your duffel bag after we turned in for the night, I reported. Stefano wagged a thick finger at me. Full of surprises you are, Dr. Matilda Schmidt. Are you sure you don't want to come with me? Crixus asked, applying emphasis to one word in particular. I could get you there quicker than any airplane. Quicker than any rocket, for that matter. I'm sure you could, I agreed. I do appreciate the offer, but I think I've got this covered. I guess I'll see you around, lady, Liam said, capturing my hand and kissing it. Crixus was next. I'm sure we'll be in touch. His wink set a ripple through my body that had me returning a warning glare. Thanks for stopping by, Stefano added, planting a heavy hand on each shoulder and kissing my forehead. And so it was that I walked out of a mob kingpin's office and down to the elevator, leaving a hitman and a demigod slack-jawed in my wake.